Hey y'all. So recently, on the weekend, Kanye West had his first presidential rally, if that's what you can call it, and the thing went left very quickly. So one of the sound bites that has been circulating around social media from this presidential rally is when Kanye West had this to say about Harriet Tubman.
When Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
Y'all, we leaving right now.
Now, this is obviously a load of bullshit, and he completely disrespected and shitted on the legacy of one of the greatest American heroes of all time. In case you forgot who Harriet Tubman was, she is the one that's credited with rescuing 300 slaves in, I believe, a span of a decade through the Underground Railroad. And like, it's hard for me to even crack any jokes anymore about this man, because he has just taken such a sharp decline when it comes to like his state of mind. He's gone too far, and that's saying a lot because this man has done so many erratic things over his, time in the public eye. And like, I honestly, I find it hard to even make jokes anymore because Kanye West, he needs serious help. Like, this whole video, I'm trying to be a little bit more sympathetic and compassionate, but at the same time, I'm not gonna chalk all of this stuff up to just him being someone that has mental health issues. Like, Kanye West is just not as well read and profound as some of his sycophantic followers would like to believe. That's just the case. Like, the guy has made so many of these public statements that are just not backed up by facts. I've always found it so interesting that he always goes on these tirades and says these very bizarre things around the time when he has like a project coming out. And lo and behold, he has an album coming out on Friday called Donda, which is named after his late mother. And I won't even be surprised if that gets pushed back for whatever reason, because the man, he's just all over the place. And he's even going on he's been going on a Twitter storm recently, like calling Kris Jenner Kris Jong-un, saying that Kim wanted to lock me up with some doctor. And you know what? To that point about Kim wanting to lock him up with a doctor, that honestly doesn't seem like such a bad idea right now, because what Kanye needs is to seek professional help right now. And I don't try to mean that in a condescending way, but this is just, it's incredibly sad to see this guy with such a massive platform spewing this bullshit. And Joey Badass recently put out a tweet saying that it's true that Kanye really has no real friends. And honestly, I believe that, because how do you just co-sign this shit and let this guy do that? Like, that's one of the biggest problems. Like, he just has a bunch of people around him that are too afraid to push back on him when he says these stupid things. That's why he says a lot of this outlandish shit. There's probably very few people in his circle that will actually push back on him and tell him that he's wrong and that he's misinformed and that he's being ignorant. It seems like Kim Kardashian is actually one of the only people in this case that actually gives a crap about him. And then he was even talking about how, Kim wanted to abort North. Like, it was just such a mess. Like, you just do not talk about these types of things in front of people at a presidential rally. This is not a joke, like I said in my previous video. And he was even talking about how when Kim Kardashian and Meek Mill were meeting up for prison reform, like, he insinuated that they were actually having an affair or something like that. It's clear that he's just spewing just the most random and asinine things that are not backed up by any type of evidence. Like, it's just sad to see, and you're unraveling your family. And I know people want to always dog on the Kardashians, and I think some of that is substantive criticism against that family, but we also need to hold a grown man accountable too. Kanye West is not just someone that needs serious professional help. He's also someone that's just ignorant, someone that hasn't thought out a lot of the things that he spews from his mouth. So we also need to hold him accountable too, and not just chalk it up to just being mental health illnesses. Like, I really hope that this man gets the help that he needs, because as someone that has really appreciated some of the music that he's created, it's like some of the stuff that man has produced is some of my favorite music of all time. Like, I feel like I can't even crack jokes about this anymore, because I don't want to see something terrible in the headlines. And mind you, the guy is like only in his mid 40s or something like that, or early 40s. Like, I really hope he gets his life together, but even I'm starting to lose faith, because it just seems like this just happens way too regularly. Again, if someone doesn't want to help themselves as well, and I'm not saying that that's how he is, then what are you supposed to do? But yeah, that's my whole thoughts on this whole recent Kanye presidential rally debacle. Again, thank you for watching. Until next time, y'all.